Hello, my foodie friends. It's me, your friendly neighborhood kid switch, Tara. Welcome to Recipes for the Cooking Impaired. A double welcome for all you new food fans and or curious bystanders. Bystanders, not bystanders. You are standard and in the best way. And welcome back to all of my foodie friends, subscribers, and or previous viewing audience. Today we're going to do a tried and true main dish, and I want to do a shout out to Mina for suggesting this one. Thank you so much. I'm really excited. I hope you guys like it. It is my own take on fried chicken. So my vegan friends, I'm sorry, but the next video should be one that could be tweaked to be a vegan friendly meal. So I'll get you guys on the next one. But here's how we make my fried chicken. You ready? All right, we start with 8 to 10 pieces of thighs, drumsticks, and because it's fried chicken, the skin must be on the chicken. That's required. It doesn't bread very well without the skin. So, skin on the chicken. 1 tablespoon of paprika. I realize that this kind of went sideways, but it's 2 tablespoons of onion powder, 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. And again, garlic powder, as I've said in previous recipes, make sure that when you're looking at the recipe, you double check, is it garlic powder or is it garlic salt? Because there's a big difference. Don't add the extra salt. This is going to have salt in it as we get further down the recipe. 1 tablespoon of oregano. That is a lot of oregano, but you will be amazed at how well it intermingles with the other flavors. So don't fear the oregano. The oregano is our friend. We will eat the oregano in this recipe. 2 teaspoons of celery salt. Now this one for sure, do not make the mistake of making it 2 tablespoons. I have done this. It makes it too salty to eat. 2 teaspoons of celery salt. 1 tablespoon of white pepper. Now, if you can find white pepper, if you can't and you gotta use black pepper, it's fine. White pepper has slightly different tastes that goes really great with the intermingling seasonings. But if you gotta do the black pepper because it's what you have, then don't fear, it'll be okay. It won't destroy the recipe at all. 2 eggs. I know that sounds strange, but 2 eggs. It's going to be part of the battering process. And I don't mean battering, I mean battering the chicken so we can cook it, bread it, cook it, delicious. And it's kind of cool. It's a full circle. We have egg and chicken. So you don't have to ask what came first, the chicken or the egg. They came together in this recipe. 3 cups of buttermilk, or if you don't have buttermilk, you can do 3 cups of milk with 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. Not apple cider vinegar, white vinegar. That will kind of curdle it, which sounds bad, but in recipes, like when you're needing buttermilk, because buttermilk already has a bit of a curdle to it, it works as well. So either one's fine depending on what you have access to. Some grocery stores have powdered buttermilk. That's fine. Just follow the recipe as far as what the amount of scoops of powdered buttermilk to the 3 cups is. So that's fine. Each container is slightly different, so I can't tell you the exact amount of tablespoons because it could vary from manufacturer to manufacturer. But those are some options. Either one. 2 cups of flour, and all-purpose flour is fine. You could use wheat flour. That's fine. I wouldn't use coconut or almond flour. It's going to change the flavoring way too much. And then we have 1 cup of cornstarch, and I skipped canola oil for a reason. The canola oil, unless you don't have availability and you have vegetable oil, that's fine, is only going to be for the actual frying. And we're not going to fill a huge container, a huge pan with this oil. You're only going to put about this much in your pan, enough to get a fry on either side when you flip it. We do not do a deep frying for this recipe. For two reasons. One, that's a lot of grease. A lot of grease. One part expensive, one part not great for the arteries. The other is that sometimes it makes it more greasy. Doing it this way, you can cook it. We're going to pre-bake it partly, then put it in the oven. Sorry, rephrase. We're going to fry it and partly, and then put it in the oven to finish baking so that the chicken's fully cooked. It keeps the crunchiness that way. And then you also have an option. You can take the chicken out of the pan, put it on a paper towel, and get a little of the extra grease off. But if you do a deep frying, there is a chance that it could be extremely greasy. And, well, like I said, it's really greasing. Oil's expensive, guys. So let's try and do this in an inexpensive yet delicious sort of way. All right, so my metric fans, I got you covered. You ready? You're done. Went with a slightly more country sounding doo-doo-doo-doo this time. Hope you enjoyed it. Look for my songs on iTunes. No, I'm just kidding. They're not on iTunes. Let's head into the kitchen and start this bake. Okay, guys, to start this off, we're going to measure out 3 cups of buttermilk. All right, and now we're going to add 2 eggs. I know that sounds weird, but this helps with the coating on our fried chicken. And then, of course, we whisk. As you can see, we're whisking with a fork. You can use a proper whisk. There is no wrong way to do it. And sometimes things happen. We clean up as we go. All good. Basically, nobody's seeing what you're doing. Another person seeing what we're doing is, well, all of you out there in YouTube world. Yay! But that's okay. It's all good. We are going to make something delicious. Alright guys, now using a Ziploc or a Gladware or whatever, plastic zippable container you have, put your chicken in, and then we're going to pour the buttermilk mix over it. We're probably going to let this sit for about an hour or so in the fridge. The longer the better, because this is going to penetrate into your chicken, make it nice and soft. If it looks like you don't have quite enough room in your bags, you're welcome to take and put part of it in one bag and part of it in another. Just make sure that you measure out about half the ingredients of the buttermilk in each bag. Alright. Alright, in our bag, it looks like it holds the full amount just fine, and it's a gallon. And we have 10 pieces of chicken in there. So 6 drumsticks and 4 thighs. But you can have whatever combination works best for you, your family, your friends, whoever you're doing the wonderful, yummy fried chickie for. And then I'd say put it in the fridge, because you need to keep this cold to keep you from catching any salmonella and souring the buttermilk more than buttermilk already is. Okay, so inside this bowl is our 2 cups of flour and our 1 cup of cornstarch. And next we're going to add in our 1 tablespoon of paprika. So there's our 1 tablespoon of paprika. Then we're going to add our onion powder, and that is 2 tablespoons. Okay.
Oh, it smells so good. I love onion powder. It's got such a wonderful smell to it. Okay. Next is our 2 tablespoons of garlic. Two tablespoons of garlic is in. Yeah. And then our 1 tablespoon of oregano. Two teaspoons of celery salt. And make sure you're grabbing teaspoons and not tablespoons on this, or it's going to be super salty. And last but not least is 1 tablespoon of white pepper. Now, if you do not have white pepper at home, you can use regular black pepper. There's a slight difference in the actual flavoring, but it won't change the recipe too much. Alright, now we're going to get it all stirred up, and then we're going to take our chicken that's been in the buttermilk and cover it in this wonderful mix. If you decide you don't want to do it in a bowl, you can put this all in a bag once it's mixed up and toss it that way. There is no wrong way on how to coat it. The important part is making sure you're coating the chicken on both sides. Alright, so you can hear that this oil is now bubbling hot. I don't know if you can see, but there's not a lot, there we go, from here, not a lot of oil in there. You just want enough to be able to fry the chicken. You do not have to drown the chicken. Just fry it up a bit. So this is on medium heat. Get it to where it's just starting to boil. Now we're going to put our chicken from our buttermilk egg mix into the flour. And just make sure that it's floured on both sides and covered. And then we're going to move it to the glass pan that we will eventually bake in. Just so that we have a place to put it before we get it into the hot pot. Because the oil pan is not going to hold all of the chicken. Alright, so there's the first 2, and we're going to get the first couple put into the pan to start frying while we continue to get the chicken floured. Alright, we're laying the chicken in, just getting it started. Now, we are not going to fully cook the chicken entirely in this oil. We're going to crisp it and brown it slightly on each side. And then it goes back in the pan, the glass pan that we have. Glass or metal, by the way, is fine. And it goes into the oven to finish cooking. Because you want to make sure chicken is fully cooked. You do not want to mess with raw or partially raw chicken. So this is just to get the crispiness in. And then we'll finish cooking it in the oven. This also helps it keep from being super greasy. Alright, as you can see, the sides are starting to get a little bit crispy, but they're not anywhere near ready yet for turning. But we were able to get a nice 6-piece in there to start with. So we'll have to do this another round to get all the pieces. Alright, the chicken is now ready to be gently and carefully flipped. Remember, you've got really hot oil. And as you can see, it's slightly browned. It is crispy, which is what we are looking for. And then we'll let it get crispy on the other side. Oh, looks so good. And it really smells great. Again, I wish, guys, that I had smell-o-vision. Oh, so good. So we'll give that time to brown on the other side. I would say this has taken about 10 minutes. About 10 minutes on each side, roughly. And then we finish cooking it in the oven, like I said. I would say don't worry about preheating the oven until you have all of the chicken ready crispy on both sides. Or when you get the last of it in, to flip one last time, then preheat the oven. And that'll be on 350. Alright, so it's all pre-crunchied or pre-fried. Haha. The oven's already been preheated for 350. It's ready to go in. Now at this time, I could tell you, you can cook it as is, or you can cover it with foil. That is up to you. Covering it with foil will keep the juices in, so I'd recommend it. For sticking to pan problems, you could even also put foil down at the bottom before you put the chicken in there. These are all just helpful hints. Regardless, either way, you're going to put it in the oven, 350 for 30 minutes. Go. Alright guys, we're going to uncover it. Oh, all that wonderful steam. It smells so good. It's bubbling fresh. Let it cool before you eat it. Highly recommended. Alright, so as I like to say before I sign off, my friends, I want to say please leave me a comment. Let me know if you want me to do more home style type food like this. You know, your fried chicken, your creature comforts that you remember from when you were a kid. Go ahead and tickle that like button if you've enjoyed this video. And high five that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any foodie fun. And until I see you guys again, I miss your faces already. Bye.